Good morning, everybody. Dr. Freedom here with you, and it is Tuesday. By here we go again. All right. Oh, goodness. I'll probably say something weird. Let's just say it was Monday was the best Monday I've had in a long time because they sent us home after 4 hours. And I'm hoping they're going to do it again, but I'm not hopeful. You know, all kinds of weirdness going on. But so that's why I meant by here we go again. It's literally I'm not going to be a least bit surprised going there and go, well, we're probably not running a full day today either. But like I said, knowing my luck, it'll be a full 9 hour day. Oh, that was just hilarious. Oh, all right. The Ingrid Oliver thing's a long story. All right, I'll try to give you the somewhat short version. What happened is she posted this. I don't know if it was fan art or a poster of Charlie's Angels, and it's the one where they're all pointing, staring forward. They're pointing forward, and what happened was I was kind of hoping she had a sense of humor, so I posted. Why does it look like to me like they're saying we know what you were doing while you were watching our show? And so my end of the punchline would have been, if she had replied, well, in my case, it would have been, if I remember right, this show aired on prime time, so I was probably in bed because I had school the next morning. But immediately she jumped to conclusions and basically acted like I just sent her a dick pic. I'm not kidding. She literally tried to lecture me on what a joke is, what a joke is. It's like, and next thing you know, I'm blocked. I was like, what are you talking about? It was a joke. And thankfully somebody captured the conversation. I still have pictures of it and what her reaction was. And apparently, and also we have to remember at that time on Twitter, my profile pic at the time was a picture of me. So naturally, she saw a middle-aged white man and assumed I'd be an easy target. And I was a pervert and all this, so she immediately just went on the offensive based off that one line. And like I said, she acted like I had just sent her a picture of my private parts or something. I'm like, and this is from somebody who just, if you go back and watch one of her shows, I can't remember the name of it, basically did a scene where she's mounted a guy who was passed out drunk. And I'm sitting there going, how can you not have a sense of humor when you've basically done a male rape scene? Oh well. So that's why I don't like to get. I don't like it to get me down because basically, yeah. Um, and the saddest part of the whole thing was I even apologized, but she blocked me, and I'm like, and later on, I'm like, why am I apologizing? I didn't do anything wrong. This was one of my encounter with Ingrid Oliver, the supposed sweetheart of Unit. Like I said, I feel sorry for the guy that got hooked up to that train. And here's the funny part also, just to add on before we move off that. Um, my apology suddenly came up missing when I went back to check. My friend who captured the major part of the conversation, he goes, "Yeah, the part where you apologize suddenly disappeared." I go, "Well, that's what you get for having a blue check on Twitter, I think." So, like I said, I don't let it get me down. I don't even worry about it because, frankly, I never liked the character of Osgood anyway. It was a fangirl turned superhero, and um, come on, it's like once again, it was another companion who got made into an immortal super being. Well, at least a shape-shifting super being. uh, yeah, like I said, that's one thing I didn't like about the Moffat era was, death was made into a joke in that era. Come on, look at how many times Rory passed. Look at how many times. As far as I know, we've seen Unit and Unit soldiers at Wembley. So I would assume there's a good chance Kate Stewart's going to be in it. Plus, with the introduction of Unit, if Martha Jones is still signed on with Unit, that would explain, why she's there. Well, it's not that she got turned into Chameleon also, it's just the fact that I did not like the fact that they, one of the things I did not like that Moffat did was he pulled the restrictions off the Zygons. It used to be Zygons could only shapeshift if they had a copy of, if they had the person and they put them into a body print machine. And I thought that was a brilliant piece of writing by the original, great, I can't remember who wrote the original Terror of the Zygons. Because that explains why they had to take prisoners and why they just simply wouldn't kill you. Because if they could shapeshift into anyone they wanted to, why are you keeping them alive for? So that's the point I didn't like. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You have a copy of Elizabeth I, but you're going to keep the other one around to possibly foil your plans later. Also, the fact that they could shapeshift into anything from a bunny to a horse, when originally they were using people to shapeshift into people to infiltrate stuff. And I'm like, wow, so you're telling me a 6 foot tall Zygon, let's say, can turn into a bunny. Yeah, where's the mask go? Is that like a 200 or 300 pound bunny? And of course, you see a horse, and I'm like, that's why I didn't like what they did with the Zygons in Day of the Doctor. I was like, plus, the most ironic part is, you get to the end, and look at what they're pulling Kate Stewart out of so they can have the big double scene where no one remembers who's a human or a Zygon. Folks, in order to do that, you'd have to erase a person's memory right down to birth. Which means, in order for that scene to have worked where nobody remembers who's a human and who's a Zygon, they'd have all been dribbling, crapping, and peeing in their diapers. Exactly. Zygons aren't that dumb. Now, the one thing they did keep was the fact that, yeah, the Zygon's homeworld was being knocked out by a solar flare, but of course they added it as part of the Time War, which I didn't mind. I was like, we don't know which doctor the curator was, and they kind of left it unspecific, which is what Chibnall did with Joe Martin's doctor, but apparently now this comic's come out saying that she is the actual first incarnation of the Doctor, Joe Martin. And I'm like, yet people are pissed off at Chibnall for something a comic book writer did. He has nothing to do with that branch. That's a whole different section of the BBC. Or if they, oh God. Well, here's one thing though for you folks, even if you feel the comic has gone too far, comics have always been fluid. Like to make you feel really, really old, I had a friend of mine who collected Transformers, G.I. Joe, and all that back in the day. And I think Optimus Prime got assassinated like, I don't know how many different times. He kept bringing it up. He goes, well, Optimus is dead again. Oh, okay. So, well, yeah, they have to have something to hate on. I have not seen the Black Adam trailer, sadly. I knew I forgot something. Like I said, we got sent home early. Dummy me started playing Fallout. I started yet another settlement. I walled it in and did all kinds of weird stuff with it. I put high walls around this thing, so it's like you can't even see your way in. There's only two ways in and out of the settlement. And I put them right along the railroad track that runs through it. And so I don't. I say I'm well over 30 settlements or something now. Plus there's ones I haven't even started yet because I was doing a DLC, or it was like an add-on called the Wilderness, and that thing added like half a dozen settlements, and I haven't even started those yet. I'm debating on whether I should or not with how many I've got just on the regular map. Ugh. But it's fun building those settlements, especially because I'm picking up new pieces and stuff all the time. So also I'm using different strategies for the settlement, so it kind of makes it a little challenging. Okay. Okay, is there or is there not a Black Adam trailer? Okay. Yeah, Preston wants more settlements. You know what Preston's doing right now? He's manning a desk at the castle. I think that's where I put him. No, wait, that's right. Last time I checked, they automatically moved him to food production. I was going to stick him behind a desk at the castle on a security detachment or something like that. I haven't even been to that castle in I don't know how long because I die laughing because it's the one settlement that never gets attacked, ever. And I'm like, I've only seen it once where the castle got attacked, and that was back under my Susan profile. And get ready for laughs ahoy. It was like two raiders tried to take on the castle. They're outside the door trying to shoot up at the guys on the wall. They can't even get the right angle to get them. I just went up there and tossed a couple grenades off the top of the wall, and that took care of that. Like, oh, yeah, yeah. Everybody's starting to meander their way in. Okay, enough of that stuff. That's why I didn't put Doctor Who on this one, because the only Doctor Who news I had is apparently out towards Hertfordshire. A bunch of classic Daleks were seen, but from what's being reported, there were no official BBC trucks or anything out there, and the locals are claiming that this is a fan film production that's known in the area. So all the Daleks look like they were right around Genesis of the Daleks era. They're very well made. They're great replicas and all that. They do look official, but from what the locals are saying, no, this is a fan film production. And from what you saw of there were no official vehicles there or filming location markers or anything like that. So it was definitely not BBC. Yeah, of course, there's a picture of Jodie running around with her baby in a sling. Then, like I said, everyone's asking me, well, what sex is the baby? I said, we didn't even know when that baby was born. Because the only way they knew this child had been born was she was out walking around. She has the child in a sling inside of her jacket. And you see the baby hanging there with her open jacket. And it's like, okay, this is obviously, the new one. But like I said, I'm not going to pry into it because I figured that's family business. We don't, come on. Some things you do got to keep personal. Yep. But you got to remember also, they already knew that the centenary and all that was going to be their last thing. So she didn't let the grass grow under her feet, so to speak. That's a very good point. Yeah, you keep the performance and the performer separate. Um, Sadly, there's a lot of people out there who've lost track of reality. And like I said, Whitaker was put up on this cross, or she was going to be burned at the stake for because they didn't like that era of the show. And it's like there was a lot of people who did. And I hate to break them some sad news, but they weren't, the haters were not in the majority. And that was another thing they were trying to push, is everybody doesn't like it. It's like, have you been to a con lately? Like I said, the one Chicago TARDIS I was at, there were more people cosplaying Jodie than there were any of the other doctors, including Classic Era. So obviously people did like her. Well, folks, I just glanced at the clock. It's time to go. Oh, one last note. Yeah, the Herd gang have used up the last of their time. So now the remaining, I think it's 10 plus hours, are for Johnny Depp's team. And judging by that psychiatrist they had up on stand, basically, basically Depp's lawyers could sit there and play Nobble Me Peg for the next 10 hours and they've won this case. I'm not kidding. It's a slam dunk. Okay, well, I got to get going, folks. I just noticed the time, as I said. Please take care of yourselves. Be kind, be calm, be safe. Look out for one another out there today. And hopefully we'll see you all in the future. Take care, everybody.